The subject of today's short talk is setting effective boundaries. This is a fundamental skill with respect to our clinical practice. It's something I talk about with my clients all the time. And there's definitely a right way and a wrong way, or at least an effective and an ineffective way to set boundaries with other people. In short, the ineffective way is anything that tries to control other person's behavior. Generally, that just doesn't work. If anything, it can make the situation even worse through a phenomenon called reactance, which is basically that no one likes being told what to do, and so sometimes we go ahead and do the opposite, just to assert and to remind ourselves, the other person, of our freedom and autonomy. So trying to control other people's behavior generally isn't effective and creates reactance. So instead, effective boundary setting has to do with elucidating the consequences of certain behaviors. Mainly, what are you going to do in response to a certain action, a certain behavior? It's kind of like saying to the other person, you can do whatever you want. You can get angry and throw things. You can drink until you're in a stupor every night. You can go off and philander and break our, exclusivity agreement. You can do whatever you want. But if you continue to do that, I'm going to tell you what the consequence for that action will be, which is fundamentally that I'm going to take myself out of that situation. Now, of course, you can't say that unless you're actually willing to follow through with that consequence. You don't want to set reinforcements that you're not able or willing to follow through on. But it's like, if you're free to do whatever you want, but if you do that, this is what I'm going to do, because I'm also free to do whatever I want, and I don't want to stay in a relationship that's mistrustful, or that is inebriated, or is abusive in some way, or just disrespectful. I'm going to take myself out of the situation and effectively ask the other person to choose between, the problematic behavior from their point of view and the relationship that person has with you. And if that person continues that behavior, then you execute the consequence that you had discussed with that person previously. And that's boundary setting. It's not that that person won't it's not like that other person might not ever do that problematic behavior again. It's that you are no longer going to enable or tolerate a behavior that's unacceptable to you in a relationship anymore. And I think it's really important to come across boundaries from this perspective, because it's empowering the individual setting them. If it's about controlling other person's behavior, well, that's something that's ultimately not in your power to do. So, whereas you have control over whether you continue to participate in a relationship or not, whether you physically take yourself out of a situation or not, the vast majority of the time. So it seats the power back inside of a person's domain of control. So that's what I have to say on that subject. Please like and subscribe. We'll talk more in future episodes.